Hello Business 100 investors. This presentation is on Saputo Inc., based on the report produced by myself, Daniel Moritz, Tommy Proctor, and Amanjot Chumber. Saputo is a dairy production company, one of the largest in the world, in the top 10. It was founded in Montreal in the year 1954 by Giuseppe Saputo. As I said, they are a dairy manufacturer or producer. And they have quite a wide product range. Many of the dairy products that one might see in their local grocery store is most likely produced by Saputo. For example, Dairyland products are produced by Saputo. They also have grocery items, for example, like whey isolate, protein powder, and things to that effect. And they have expanded their product range to include plant-based products, which is great because it differentiates them from competition and it opens up more customer opportunities, while also making them more resilient to market changes with the advent of the alternative foods market that's coming up. The current CEO is named Lino A. Saputo Jr. He is the son of Lino A. Saputo Sr., who is the son of the founder, Giuseppe Saputo. Lino A. Saputo Jr. became the CEO in 2004. Some of the critical issues as it pertains to Saputo are environmental, legal, and financial. Financial will be spoken about later on by Amanjot, but for environmental, they've had some issues in the past with violations of environmental restrictions. This has essentially required them to pay very hefty fines into the millions of dollars and allocate money to increase environmental or decrease their environmental footprint by bettering their facilities and their training and their business practices. This has made them much more environmentally conscious. I think they learned their lesson the first time. It was a very expensive lesson. I think they learned it. And in their Our Promise document, which outlines their vision statement, their mission statement, and general rules that they prescribe by, they outline exactly what they are currently doing and what they plan to do in the future to reduce their environmental footprint, being one of the largest dairy producers in the world. Given the fact that they operate in over 60 countries, there are a lot of laws that they have to abide by in each individual country. But as far as Canadian laws go, these are some of the most notable. The Code of Practice for the Care and Handling of Dairy Cows is a very important one, given the fact that they are a dairy producer. And it essentially outlines exactly what producers or owners of dairy cows are allowed to do, how they're allowed to treat the animals, how they're allowed to house the animals, the facilities that they're allowed to use, and the quality of the facilities that they're allowed to use. It also outlines exactly what practices are not allowed. For example, using steroids on their cows to make them produce more milk or grow larger. And another very important one is Safe Food for Canadians, the Safe Food for Canadians Act. This outlines exactly what food is safe for the Canadian market, and differentiates between what is not safe for the Canadian market. So it has many rules and regulations in place for for any food producer that is planning to sell food on the Canadian market. It has exact specifications on what is okay and what is not okay, and the quality of the food.
Hello everyone, this is Amanjot Singh, and moving on, we will be discussing about company structure and leadership. So at the top, we have board of directors. The mandate of the board of directors is to supervise the management of our business and affairs. The board has two committees, the CGHR and audit committee. So the audit committee is composed of 5 independent directors. They all together has the mandate to review the annual and interim financial statements of the company. The CGHR committee is composed of 4 directors. They are responsible for developing and reviewing our corporate governance practices and make recommendations to the board. Oversee the element of the Saputo promise delegated by the board, such as the risk management measures related to the human resource risks, and then supervise the annual performance assessment process of the CEO and board of committees and the directors individually. Then we have the management committees, the CR committee, environmental committee, QA committee, H&S committee, DE&I, global council, animal welfare committee, IT security committee. Each of these has their own individual functions, where the environmental committee is responsible for overseeing the implementation of the environmental policy and the achievement of the company's environmental objectives. The quality assurance takes care of the quality of the food, health and safety compliance, make sure about the safety policy, health and safety policy globally, and etc. So further, we'll be having a look on our competitor Agropur in order to compare the ratios, the revenues of both the companies from past 2022 and 2021 of their performance. So further, we have these two charts from both the companies in 2022 and 2021, comparing their total revenues, their gross profit, net income, their assets and liabilities. So Sapporo has been bigger in number as evident. Both the companies have gone through a huge loss because of the increase in number of operating costs and other adjusted EBITDAs. Sapporo has a larger number in revenues as of 2022 and in 2021 as well, whereas the net income for Agropur is much higher in 2022 than 2021. So to compare the two companies and know which one is better and which one is better to invest in, we will need the help of ratios. So here we have the ratios from both 2022 and 2021, comparing both the companies Sapporo and Agropur. Here, Agropur has a larger number of debt to manage compared to Sapporo, which is able to meet its liabilities through its own resources, as its ratio comes at 0.63 and 0.59 as of 3.1 and 3.3 of Agropur. Return on equity concludes us that Agropur is much efficient in generating profits out of sales. Looking at current ratios, Sapporo can be seen with a higher ratio, which illustrates a lighter weight of liabilities on Sapporo than Agropur. And at last, we have return on sales, where Sapporo is winning again.
This section is going to be looking at the marketing strategy of Saputo, which is generally just the core focuses within a marketing context, which any company would need to drive attention towards in order to see actual profit. First up, we got the target market. For Saputo, it's going to be very broad, where they're just going to cater to your everyday buyer. Some products will focus their marketing on children, for say, for school lunches, or perhaps people in fitness with their health and food drinks. However, dairy is just a very broad industry, and it's hard to cater to a very small group of people. Next up is going to be the product strategy, where again, they're only selling dairy products, starting off with the raw milk and making that into cheeses, fine cheese, dairy, grocery, and plant-based foods. They have the consideration of mainstream trends, such as that they added the plant-based foods into their bases, but it's just one more addition to the main focus, which is dairy. Next up is their pricing. They're focusing on quality products without being too expensive in order to be as easy to access as possible by everyday buyers. And this is all just to have the main goal of becoming a household brand worldwide. Next up is going to be the promotion strategy. For this section, they're just using ads on TV, using their products on cooking shows, as well as using promotions on social medias like Instagram in order to promote themselves as widely and as positively as possible. Lastly, we have got the distribution strategy, where their products can be bought in person and online. You can find many of their products in a variety of grocers, as well as their products being used in multiple restaurants. This shows that they have both a business to business and a business customer business model in order to sell their products to as many people as possible. This section is going to be looking at the strategic direction for Saputo, essentially just the public statements made by the company for the public. With the company promises section for Saputo, it's going to have a main focus on the Saputo promise that they made a little while back, starting off with the mission statement, which is going to entail food quality and safety, our people, business ethics, responsible sourcing, environment, nutrition, and community. Next up, we've got their vision statement, which essentially just has a variety of policies, procedures, programs, some of which may include the complaints processing procedure or the director's selection and appointment process, just as a way to show that the company is having real initiative and implementation of efforts towards changing the company. And lastly, for their value statement, they are going to be looking at efficiency through simplicity, family-oriented environment, ownership and commitment, a hands-on approach, and passion. More specifically, this value statement has a lot of focuses on the community, their people, their employees. However, there are still a lot of people who are unhappy and unsatisfied with there being a 23% turnover rate in 2023. Thus, with such a large focus on this area and a lot of people being unsatisfied, it leaves a little bit to be desired in this section here. This part's looking at Saputo's objectives and strategies, with them having two main goals, one in terms of pollution, one in terms of financials. Starting off with pollutions, they want to use more recyclable materials, they want to reduce emissions, and pretty much they just want to adapt from what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong in order to have a better performance in the future rather than just having immediate change right now. And then in terms of financial goals, they have a big goal for 2025 of $2.125 billion, which I believe is something completely achievable for the company as they are continuously growing and improving as they are one of the top companies in the dairy market today. This last section is going to be talking about Saputo's ethics and sustainability practices. So starting off with their ethics, they've got a strict code of ethics, including integrity, respect, confidentiality, being non-discriminant, and abiding by the law, which is nothing really crazy for a company to want to practice, but they're really strict on upholding these values within the company, no matter who it is. And then second half, we got goals to become more sustainable in the future. Due to them being such a large company, they're going to have a large carbon footprint. So as mentioned before, they want to decrease their pollution, they want to decrease the energy usage, and they want to use more and more sustainable materials to become a more green company.
In conclusion, Saputo is a very resilient company. They have stood up to the test of time, having been in operation for nearly 70 years now. And they have outcompeted their competitors at almost every turn, in almost every respect. They have also been able to weather the storm of COVID-19, which wreaked havoc on many, many companies. This is why we can wholeheartedly recommend this company to potential investors. They have good financial performance, outcompeting their competitors at almost every turn and in almost every respect. They have a very diverse product line, allowing them to reach customers that other dairy producers would not be able to reach, and they're very competitive in their market, meaning that they can expand into new countries very quickly, almost averaging one new country per year. On top of that, they are an ethical company. They care about their animals and their workers. Thank you for listening.